Hi guys, it's MicheleMarieDalene, and of course today is the 17th. Tomorrow is going to be the Soup Kitchen's annual Thanksgiving dinner. Let me just adjust this a little bit here. Yeah, that's about as good as it's going to get. I got my new microphone gear and equipment, and I got a couple observations I want to make about this stuff. Number one is, you think the microphone stuff I buy now is expensive. I gotta tell you right now, I just priced out some new cable, and this cable I bought here is actually peanuts compared to what some of the professional cables made by companies like Belden are going for. For example, I can buy raw cable without the cable ends for this new cable here from the name brand Belden Wire Cable, which is highly respected in the by the audio field and musicians, as well as their other cables are well respected by things such as electronics engineers. And these cables, the Belden cables, which are much better made than this low-cost Chinese cable, go for a lot of money. Now, the new cable had a problem, and thanks to, I believe his YouTube name is GLB, from Singapore. He pointed out that, unfortunately, even this cable fell into this leak are miswired, and this was. So when I first got it, at his suggestion from watching his video, he recommended that I should check my cable wiring and make sure it was wired right in the first place. The cable was wired identical to the cable that he was working on for a school project that is completely wired wrong. In other words, I'm not going to go into all the details of how it was wired wrong, just to say it was wired incorrectly. And so last night I spent some time working on my soldering iron and reattaching the wire ends on the XLR plugs, both of them, the male and the female, so they was proper and wired right, and it works fine. If I had used the cable as it was stock, it would probably have still worked as long as you kept the cable relatively rolled up and didn't. Well, I gotta keep rolled up anyway because I don't need the full 25 foot on the table here. But it would have been very susceptible to AC hum and other, of course. Unfortunately, that was my alarm clock. That kind of interference wouldn't stop the cable. But in this case, we're talking about electrical interference from things such as motors, any kind of machinery or something that may be nearby that generates a lot of electrical fields and RF fields. The cable, the way it was wired, would have been inappropriately wired to the application. Now, we also wanted to talk about weather today, and we're going to talk about weather as well. There's a snowstorm coming up for the the northern plains of the United States. That doesn't directly affect Winston right now. Let me get to the weather map here. And no, it doesn't affect Winston in the immediate time at this point. However, I wanted to at least address some of the immediate weather forecast for Winston. Well, right now it is 11 degrees Celsius. It's not bad. It's a little breezy. But it's about as warm as it was yesterday when I walked home from my doctor's. So, not a big deal. The winds are, as I said, it's breezy. The winds are blowing at 22 kilometers per hour. Humidity is at 71%. UV index is low. Dew point is 6 degrees Celsius. So, now, as I go to the immediate near future, which will probably be like starting Friday, tomorrow. The high will be 17 degrees, a low of 3 degrees. It will be sunny, so we don't see any significant or any precipitation for New England until the 20th of November, which is going to be a high of 6, a low -2, and 40% chance of precipitation. It's also when it starts getting colder. That's what it's going to be. The day after that, on Monday, it shows it's going to be, let me sure I get this right here, because, yeah, here we go. It's going to be windy, a high of 2, a low -2, 10% chance of precipitation. Again, no significant precipitation, except maybe on Thursday, November 24th, which is Thanksgiving. It shows 70% chance of, 60% chance of rain, primarily high of 7, a low of 0. And then after that, it's gonna be for a short time. It's gonna be pretty stable. So it's not gonna be like a lot of rain or snow or anything for the next week, but it will be the extended forecast show after Thanksgiving week. On Black Friday, it's gonna be fine, but then that weekend, the precipitation is gonna start to roll into New England. It's too early to go into that detail because, change happens. Speaking of change, Donald Trump and Mike Pence are making transition team changes to make sure that people got a clear understanding that, number one, they do not want any former lobbyists in their organization, especially in the cabinet. They don't want that. They have chosen to keep anybody who has former lobbyist connections is out. That includes a lot of potentially good people, but that's because they want to drain the swamp, and they are making a lot of efforts to do that. One news reporter, I believe it was Infowars.com, pointed out it's kind of interesting that Donald Trump is not asking for a clearance, a high security clearance for his children to be able to read top secret stuff. Well, first of all, Donald Trump, doesn't want to give that kind of clearance to just anybody in his cabinet. For one thing, it's guaranteed that somebody's going to start leaking stuff, and he doesn't want that at all. So it's a need-to-know basis. So for top security clearances, regular secrets, like proposed budgets and things like that, he is going to give those to, of course, those who need it. They say a lot of his sons and daughters, especially, let's see, I don't know the young man's name. His son-in-law was just the husband of Ivanka Trump. He'd like to have him on the cabinet, but he doesn't want to give him top security clearance. Because he doesn't think it's necessary. So I think it's pretty good that Donald Trump is making a lot of positive changes to get clearance to those who need it, and not going willy-nilly and just giving it to carte blanche to his staff. He's being very, very careful, and I appreciate that he's keeping national security foremost in mind. We also noticed that he's been making a lot of positive efforts to work with Putin and other leaders to keep things in the international, under control. He's also got endorsements, of course, from Nigel Farage from the UKIP, the UK Independence Party. He also has endorsements from Marine Le Pen, which doesn't surprise me at all because she's part of the French Right Front. She's looking forward to endorsing Donald Trump. She already has endorsed him, but she's hoping that she's gonna win the French elections in May, especially if Donald Trump does a good job. And we'll see how that goes, because elections are hard to predict, especially this early. They're talking about April, May of next year, not which means between now and May, things can happen. And the French elections, of course, maybe she might just lose out to other former presidential leaders. So we'll see how it goes from there. But here in the United States, Donald Trump's organization is seriously giving George Soros a headache. Fine, George Soros is a creep anyway, but let me be the first to say one thing about George Soros. Like I said yesterday, you better hide, because there's a criminal arrest. There's an international arrest warrant out for you, filed by Vladimir Putin because of what you did to the Ukraine. He's also fit to be tied with what you've done by meddling in the affairs of other countries, trying to incite riots and make trouble. You are really, really a bad boy. You know that? Seriously, I think you're just a creep. And, like I said yesterday, why don't you just go ahead, just retire, enjoy your twilight years, stop this meddling and just enjoy yourself. Have a quiet time with your wife and your children. And don't worry about trying to keep meddling in people's affairs between your countries. It would have been so much better if you just did that instead of trying to constantly stick your proboscis into every single country's issues and trying to finance all this, globalism. Why does anybody really want to have control of the world anyway? I mean, come on. I hate to be stuck doing the paperwork. Imagine that, being a global president of the world and trying to deal with all the issues that the world has to throw at your doorstep. I would think that it would be a really big turnoff. It's already hard enough now, as when you look at all the things that are going on with just being a president of a country like the United States. Now, if you could imagine trying to control all the populations of the world and trying to tell how everybody's going to do and try to pass global laws and everything. The United Nations, for example, is a nightmare. I mean, that's just a good example I'm talking about. I mean, but to be president means that you have to have your finger in every single country's affairs, as well as potentially, ideally, you might want to say, well, we're not going to have countries anymore. We're just going to have, maybe historical context of what a country is, but that's it, I don't think that's going to work. There's too many people who love their countries, both Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump very much love their homelands, and I can't say that as a person who happens to be an American citizen, I can understand exactly why Donald Trump loves the United States, and of course Vladimir Putin, but he loves Moscow and Russia. That's where they grew up, that's where they spent their lives. Both men have traveled to other countries, but it's just kind of like the song by the Beach Boys there, California Girls. That's what you're used to, that's what you used to determine what other countries are like, is what you're used to from your home country. I know that sounds kind of silly, but it's true, and makes a difference. Now, how is my little BlackBerry doing for me, for maintaining my internet and stuff? Well, the first thing I noticed is, let's see, I get a lot of messages here. Let's see, I got Google now in here. And this is, so you can see, my Google's in here. And we have my Yahoo in here. So that's in here. And of course, now my new package I ordered for my line link, according to T-Mobile, it's been shipped out. The tracking number has been issued. It's being shipped by the Smart UPS again, or Smart Post. I guess they call all kinds of funny names, but what it means is that they're more than likely are going to be sending the package through the postal service, like to do with eBay. A lot of stuff is shipped by Smart Post, and the reason that works out fine for me is because that means I know that the package will be at the post office for me, and I can just go snag it like I did yesterday and carry it home and know that it will be in my possession. So that's a really important thing. I'm really looking forward to getting it. Now, by the way, Dory is having some personal issues lately. I am not at the liberty to go into details on her personal issues, but she will hopefully be feeling better in a couple of days or weeks, and then she'll be doing more videos soon. So she's not feeling too well right now. So hopefully she'll be back online, and we will get some videos in. Probably maybe in about a week or so, maybe. I don't know how much about her situation. I can't divulge any of that because of HIPAA and all that. But just to say that she will hopefully be on maybe about next week or so at the earliest. Now, my personal issues, I'm doing okay. I got my life is going okay. It's not like fantastically great, but it's not bad. I'm gonna be getting some more cancer eye drops in a couple of weeks when I get my Social Security disability check, and so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just checking really quick, see what's going on. I got my checking account. Okay, I'm okay. 3610 in my checking account. I actually transferred 20 from my savings. Otherwise, I really would have 1610 because at first I thought I was gonna get sandbagged with a purchase. That they were going to charge me for. They didn't. For T-Mobile, they gave it to me gratis, as I told you, pro bono, a couple days ago. So that's coming, and that's the line link. When we get that line link device and we get it all set up, and I don't know if I have to put my SIM chip from my BlackBerry into the system, or if I basically get another SIM chip and I just keep the SIM in my BlackBerry, and that way my home phone and my cell phone will be married together. So we're meaning that if I'm on my cell phone, of course the home phone will get phone calls too. If I'm on my home phone, likewise, my cell phone can still get phone calls. And if I'm on either phone and the lines are not engaged, well, and then of course the phone lines will both ring, and then I can answer whichever one rings nearby. And also will allow me to use my teletype device for the deaf, so I'll be able to reach out and communicate more clearly with people. Cell phones have texting, home phones don't, so you have a teletype device for the deaf, or TTY, which allows you to communicate. I do know, of course, there are other alternatives to TTY out there, but for some things, the TTY is still pretty much the preferred means of communicating with services. Of course, with T-Mobile and with Frontier, you can also use online interactive chat, which works pretty good. And that allows you to communicate with other people. So, something neat to think about. Now, it's getting late. I'm going to get ready for lunch soon. I don't know what it is. I didn't check. But don't forget, tomorrow, the Soup Kitchen will be having its Thanksgiving dinner here, starting at 11:30 a.m. I will be here. I will be, obviously sitting at my usual table. So yeah, you'll see me there. Am I going to look all this audio video gear? Well, I don't think so. I mean, because that's going to be busy enough. Thanksgiving and Christmas are the 2 days the Soup Kitchen are the most busy. So to start looking extra audio video gear and taking a precious real estate for when someone else needs to sit somewhere, it's just plain rude to do that. I won't do that. I mean, because tomorrow is just going to be really chaotic as it is with all the people coming in. So what I might do is I might just bring my phone, obviously, and just do it like we normally do. And that, I think, will work out the best. But until tomorrow, I will talk to you soon. Okay? Bye-bye, everybody.